What is going on, everyone? What's up? Happy Monday. It is a Monday morning. What's going on, everyone? What a weird weekend. The Phillies are going to be the death of me. How many times have you heard that? The Phillies will literally end my life. I swear to God, I can't stand watching this baseball team, but we are going to continue to watch this baseball team. The Sixers clinched. Amazing. And on top of that, UFC 262 was actually fun as hell. That was a great performance by pretty much everybody involved on the main card. And it was great for sure, you know. That ending of I don't know how deep people are here in the UFC world, but I am clearly transitioning into the UFCsman that I always wanted to be. And it was insane. NHL playoffs, that's right. NHL playoffs in action. So much overtime. I don't know how to handle it. I just don't know how. But here we are. Here we are. And it's a big day. It's a big day for Brodes Media. And there's going to be more that explains this after Coffee with Brodes is over. So on Twitter, at Brodes Media, on the YouTube channel and all, there's going to be a lot of information given out for all of you on the next steps here with Brodes Media. But I'm really excited about it for sure. We will kind of begin how we always begin, and that's with a nice fat cup of Joe sip. How about that? How about that? So we're going with our Wawa regular, just not hazelnut. We're going Wawa regular, and we're just going black. And cheers, everybody. We got the monkey mug today. Cheers. This thing's been through hell, by the way. College apart. I mean, this thing has been through hell, and it's still kicking. Amazing. So Arm Zebra comes up here and goes, how about those NHL playoffs? The NHL playoffs have been amazing. It really has been. I wish I had been able to dive into every single second of every game. I did have a little bit of a busier weekend this weekend, but I still saw as much as I could. And what I did, I mean, it was just amazing. Overtime, Vegas goes down 1-0 in overtime. Crosby's one-handed goal, which was just ridiculous, the tip in. But the Islanders find a way to score on Jarry. It's just been great. Panthers Lightning last night was just ridiculous. Arm Zebra says that. Christian says the same thing. Get your popcorn ready for the Florida. I know, right? What the hell? Who would have thought in a billion years I'd be this damn excited for a Florida Panthers game in the playoffs? But it's just been absolutely crazy. Christian says, I hate the playoff in tournament, but I'll take LeBron versus Curry matchup all day. Yeah, I mean, that is going to be intriguing. That's for sure. What sucks now is we have to wait even longer. Now it's like, hey, you got to just chill. Like, no, I want the playoffs now, damn it. I want to see the teams play now. But I got to wait. I have more time to wait. Wait. I feel like I've been waiting for the damn playoffs to begin for this 76ers team in I've been waiting for 10,000 years. Seriously, it's been that long. What's the new Brodes Media news? We will have more information when the show is over. When the show is over, there'll be a video up on the YouTube channel. There will be tweets out there as well at Brodes Media, at Brodes81. There will be a lot of information sort of out there to explain what we're doing here at Brodes Media, but I'm super excited. I want to thank you all because without you, there's really none of this. And I remember starting this about 4 or 5 years ago, and here we are today. So it's just been an amazing journey, and I'm really looking forward to it. So there will be more news on the whole Brodes Media launching and the additions to Brodes Media when Coffee with Brodes is over. And I just can't wait to share that news for you. So, yeah, Pat, how about I know you're a big UFC guy. Thank you so much, by the way, for the new logos and all. Dude, how about Chandler? I thought Chandler and Oliveira round 1. I'm like, here we go, baby. Here we go. I'm pumped up. I think Chandler's just going to pop him 10 more times. He's just being aggressive, showing the power. And then round 2, especially when Oliveira was on his back. And you're like, uh-oh, something bad's going to happen. Chandler works his way out of things. And here we go. I mean, you're telling me round 2, my man gets popped instantly drops, gets up, and as he's running around the cage, he's down, and it's 2 a.m. Well, it was 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m., and I'm like, fuck! I was rooting for Chandler. I'm excited to see where he goes from here. You know? I'm excited to see where Chandler goes from here with his next fight. Is it going to be Gaethje? I would like a nice Gaethje fight. Yeah, I think like the whole conversation is Chandler getting this opportunity too early, too premature? And I mean, when you watch him fight out there, he wasn't outmastered or outclassed or anything like that. He fit in. That was a fucking great fight. I mean, he fit in for a title belt fight. I thought he looked just as good as anybody else who had an opportunity. So the whole narrative of him, just getting an opportunity after such a limited amount of time in the UFC and limited amount of fights, I think he looks great. And I think in that division right now, I mean, because you get Usman and you get Adesanya and you get all these guys that are at the top of their division, with the names that are flirting around this division now, there's so many conversation pieces. There's so many great fights to be had. All these guys are going to be, because Khabib had it forever. So now it's like the window for these guys to fight in this weight class is all there. Yeah, that's what the next thing is that, has been thrown around. The Conor and Dustin would get a chance next. And then maybe, does Chandler fight whoever loses that fight? So the winner will fight Oliveira, and then the loser of that fight maybe fights a Chandler or something of that nature. But yeah, I'm pretty excited, man. UFC 262 was just bonkers. I've been watching my UFC Fight Pass, just cruising through. Oh, you're saying he fights Gaethje? Okay. Yeah. I knew Gaethje won't fight Oliveira. I didn't finish the sentence. I thought you said Gaethje won't fight, and then we were referencing Chandler. Maybe I should finish reading the sentences first. I would love Chandler versus Gaethje. That would be amazing. There's so much great work in that division for sure. But yeah, dude, I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of it. I got to work on like the whole fight night stuff. See, especially with no fans. There's no fans with the fight night, so it's not as popping for me. But when it's a pay-per-view event, I'm ready to rock, man. I'm ready to rock. So, yeah. Can you give us a couple innings in right field? That was a disaster. And now you have Joe Girardi freaking out and getting all fired up like that. This is a problem to me. When Joe Girardi hits this level of frustration, we're in some trouble. We have some major issues here. And I don't know if you're going to bounce back because you're not going to have your guys healthy to bounce back. This is what you need to rely on. Scott Kingery. And I like Brad Miller, but like Brad Miller out there in left field, he's got to roll, and that's not his role. It's a really brutal situation what this Phillies team's going to go through. And I don't know how they get back on track when everybody's so damn hurt. Didi, and it's like, what are we doing? JT and Andrew Knapp, you got one bench piece. That's garbage. What happened yesterday to the Phillies is absolute garbage. I don't want to hear that, well, you know what, they battled back. No, I don't care. And actually, someone in my comments section, a jerk-off, may I add, was trying to say that Bryce Harper is not worth it because he struck out and he had a bad at-bat at the end. My man was playing with one shoulder, forced to play with one shoulder. You really expected him to be this? He's hitting 307 with like a 997 OPS, by the way. God forbid Bryce Harper with one shoulder had a bad at-bat at the end. What a joke. What a joke. I'll even settle for you replacing Chase Anderson with David Hale. Dude. Yeah, Chase Anderson and David Hale. Yeah, like Chase Anderson, it's bad. It's bad. But I went through this, right? As frustrated as I am with Chase Anderson, how about Aaron Nola wakes the fuck up? How about we get better play out of Aaron Nola? How about we stop being so sloppy? How about we actually catch the ball? If what is supposed to be fixed in Major League Baseball, not Little League, Major League Baseball, if those areas of the game are fixed, then the Chase Anderson discussion is like, okay, he's your fifth starter. He's giving you what fifth starters give you. I'm not happy about it, but I'm more pissed off and disgusted with Nola. I'm more pissed off and disgusted with everything else surrounding this team. Gene Segura with the errors, Nick Maton and him not having communication, Bryce Harper and Odubel Herrera running into one another. All that boils me up more than your fifth starter blowing. because your fifth starter is supposed to blow. You're not supposed to not have communication out in the outfield. You're not supposed to be a flat-out disaster in every area of the game. You're not supposed to be striking out over 10 times per game, third most in the entire league per game. That all needs to – if that changes, Chase Anderson sucking is supposed to happen. That's the issue. Vince Velasquez is not our most – that's unfair to Zach Wheeler, and that's honestly unfair to Zach Eflin, who his most recent start wasn't as effective as we're accustomed to seeing. He got rocked early in the first inning and all, but that's not true. Vince Velasquez is not the most consistent. Zach Wheeler for sure. Zach Eflin for sure. But it's sad that Vince Velasquez is your third most consistent pitcher when you have Aaron Nola. See, the problem is you can't pitch away. You can't pitch away from home, and now he's losing his curveball. Dude, how are you losing one of your best pitches? Why are you losing that? Why is your command that off with one of the pitches that is so damn strong? It's crazy. I got quick pitch on my TV, and I see that I thought that was the Phillies logo. My one screen's moving over. I'm like, I don't want to see the damn highlights. I don't. The Yankees blew a big lead early, though. I'll tell you that for free. Yeah, I agree. I'd rather see Spencer Howard get the start for sure. And I kind of touched on this during my post-game show. There's got to be a reason why he's not pitching. And we know that they're limiting his innings and his outings. So is there something about – are they hiding something? Is there something about him being hurt? Are they afraid to admit that Spencer Howard's not healthy? Why is he not pitching? He's better than Matt Moore. He's better than Chase Anderson. And I'm not telling you he's good because, quite frankly, I don't think that he is good right now in his career. I don't think he's labeled as good. But what you're getting is so trash and so bottom of the barrel that it can't be worse. It could be the same, but it can't be the worst. Why? Why is Spencer Howard not pitching? It has to be either they know he stinks or they know he's injured. And they don't want to admit that there's something wrong with the shoulder problem or what. I know he's pitching down in the minors or whatnot, but there's a disconnect here. There is a disconnect. So they think he blows and they think he's garbage or something else is going on because it's just brutal. It's just brutal. How about the fight between Joe and Segura? Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with frustration, all right, because you should be frustrated when things like this are happening. That's a positive for me. I'm okay with, a little bit of some brotherly love, if you will, no pun intended, where you kind of get at it and you go after it with one another because you care so much. I don't have a problem with that. It's more so how do you respond from it? To act like the Mets. The Mets responded with their fight between Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil with the big win streak. They went on a tear. They went on a run. Now, they fell to the Tampa Bay Rays this most recent weekend, and it wasn't their prettiest series by any means. But what you did witness was them respond to that adversity inside the clubhouse with good baseball. Are they going to do that? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm trying to see. And when you have Didi hurt, when you have JT hurt, when you have Bryce hurt, when you have Andrew Knapp getting hurt with his ribs, when you don't know what you're getting out of your starting pitching, it's like, especially like Aaron Nola, what is going on here? How do you do that? How do you respond? Yeah, Kingery sucks. Kingery sucks. He sucks. He is so overmatched, it's unbelievable. Now, if you're going to suck offensively, all right. I mean, it's not all right. It's terrible. But my point is this. Don't let it affect your fielding play. All right? Don't let it affect your defense. Put it behind you and make a fucking catch. Catch the baseball. Don't run into the damn wall. What's he do? Can't catch a baseball. Can't catch a baseball. It's embarrassing. Chris Sheehan comes in with a $2 donation. Thank you so much, Chris. Thoughts on our second round? Knicks or Hawks? Don't really care. I think the Sixers can clearly handle both of those. Everyone's all wearing, they screwed up. They're going to have to face the Heat. I don't want to see the Heat. They're going to screw up. They're going to screw it up. They screwed it up with that loss. Shame on them. They lost. And now they're going to have to face the Heat. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. The Sixers are easily going to take care of business, no matter if it's the Knicks, no matter if it's the Hawks, and there was clearly an overreaction. So, yeah, this team has Eastern Conference Finals written on it. I mean, getting there, the path is smooth as can be. To get it there is, there's no excuses. There's no excuses to not get to the Eastern Conference Finals. The path has really been written for you. And guess what? The Knicks and the Hawks, like, that is a very pleasant surprise. You're supposed to see a team like the Miami Heat in the second round. And I don't even think the Miami Heat are as good as others do, but they're better than the Knicks and the Hawks, in my opinion. Even as great as the Knicks have been playing, I think a reason why you do see the Heat the way that you do is because of how the season started in 2 weeks, and they just put them in such a disadvantage early on that they had to work themselves out of this funk and whatnot. You're supposed to see better talent than this in the second round. And the Sixers are still going to have to work hard. They're still going to have to compete. I'm not saying they can do it blindfolded, but I mean, it's definitely an easier second round matchup than anticipated. The road is written right there for you. You better get the job done for sure. Why did I change my name? Because we are transforming from Sports Talk with Brodes to Brodes Media. When this Coffee with Brodes is over, there will be a video uploaded on this YouTube channel explaining what's happening, what's new, what's being added, and everything like that. And also on Twitter at Brodes Media, there's going to be a pretty big statement made out there as well with some great information. So we're kind of transforming from Sports Talk with Brodes to Brodes Media. Nothing's going to change in terms of what I already provide. We're just going to add some more content. So the Heat is going to sweep the Bucks. That's just an asinine statement. You must be a Miami Heat fan, I would imagine. Is that kind of what we're getting at here? You're a Miami Heat fan? Because that's just not a reality. Mullet petition for Alvarado with the 500 yen donation. Nothing matters if number 3 is hurt. It's odd how there are no real updates. Wrist, shoulder, face, gold belt, rust, hairline. What exactly is it? Yeah, I mean, you're right. Honestly, I think here's the worst news. I hate to break it to you, but I think it's a combination of everything. I think the violent swing with the back has always been a problem and recently has intensified, I should say, over the last handful of years. So I think that's been a problem. So I think the back, the wrist, the shoulder, I think it's a combination of all of it, which makes this even worse, which scares me even more, which upsets me to a major degree. Like, I think Bryce Harper is extremely banged up and probably needs more than just these little 1 days off or these little 2 days off. I think there's some seriousness to it for sure. Like, yeah, there's legitimate serious problems here with Bryce Harper, and you got to make sure there's no reason to just like, hey, play here, take off here, play here, take off here. We got to get him healthy. But yeah, it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna cost you. Here's a reason why I feel a little bit stronger about it than maybe if the Braves were running away with things. The NL East sucks. If you go to the NL East and their division standings right now, the New York Mets at 18 and 16 lead the way, and they are coming off of a series sweep by the Rays. So they got swept. They lost game 1, 3-2. They lost game 2, 12-5, and then they lost 7-1 yesterday. That 12-5 game was actually pretty damn crazy Saturday afternoon. I remember having it on my TV here in the office while I was getting some shit done. But yeah, that game was nuts. The Mets are 18 and 16. The Braves are 19 and 21. They're 5-5 in their last 10. You might have an opportunity to sit him down a little bit because the division stinks so much. I'm not telling you they're going to be winning a shit ton of games and I'm just saying, like, you can just stay afloat because the division is not running away with anything. The Braves being 19 and 21 really does shock me. There's going to be a point where I'm done with they'll snap out of this. They have the most talent, I feel, and they've been doing it for the last couple of seasons. So naturally, I do think that they're the best team in the division, and you would think at some point they take over that top spot. But all I'm saying is if they're going to continue to play this version of baseball and this is going to be their brand, eventually there's going to be a time where I look at it and say, That's who they are this year. They're an underachieving Braves team. I keep thinking they're going to snap out of it. They're going to be a different team when they get some of their pitching back. But they're 19-21, and they're consistently playing this way. So at what point is it, this is the Braves this year? This is who they are. This is their team. At what point is it that? You know? It's going to be that way. Bryce Harper can have my spine. I think the whole entire city of Philadelphia is feeling the same exact way. Hey, Brodes, what do you think would be the most interesting first-round matchup? To be honest with you, let's see. I thought you were going to say for the Sixers, because I was going to bring up, when it comes to the Sixers first-round matchup, there's no such thing as an interesting one for me. I don't give a damn who it is. If it's the Pacers, if it's the Celtics, if it's the Hornet, any of these teams, there's no such thing for Sixers related that says that's exciting for me. Outside of the Sixers, well, I mean, you have Milwaukee and the Miami Heat, right? So that's one for sure. I mean, that's an intriguing one. Knicks, Hawks, not so much, which is funny because that's 4 or 5. And that's why I said I think you kind of got lucky on who landed at 4. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of getting lucky that a team that probably isn't as strong as the Heat as a whole, not as experienced, not as ready to win, because as you know, you got to have a ready to win star. Jimmy Butler's never really done it, but he's the most of all the teams available from 4 to 9 or 4 to 10, whatever the fuck they're doing this year. So yeah, you escaped, and make sure you make teams pay for that. I think the 3-6 matchup, Bucks and Miami, is clearly the most interesting first-round matchup in the first round. If you go to the Western Conference, I haven't really looked too much into the West right now. You got Nuggets, Trailblazers, right? You got Clippers, Mavericks. I guess Clippers, Mavericks, because when you get to that 4 or 5 area, you get your most competitive teams, if you will. So those are probably my two. Did I see Embiid's chain last night? Of course I did. Tyrese Maxey went off. You have some players out there, man. Tyrese Maxey's a stud. Tyrese Maxey's going to be so legit. It's going to be unbelievable. Yeah, I loved it. Evan says the same thing. This big energy chain, there's something to it, man. This team has an edge, and you got to support that, right? I love the fact that you're going out there and you're kind of showing your big dick energy, if you will. But there's a second half of this. You can talk the talk, but let's walk the walk as well. So, and I do anticipate them. I anticipate them doing that. I expect to see that. But it's cool. It's cool to see this team kind of have that swagger to them. They're playing. They have that cocky. They're playing the cockiness card to them, and I'm excited. I'm super excited. It just sucks that we have to wait and see. Now I'm pretty sure the schedule was released for this, right? The NBA play-in schedule. I think I saw late last night, that they did announce this. So, oh no, I want to see it with the actual teams involved. All right, they released the play-in. Charlotte and Indiana playing on Tuesday, and Washington and Boston playing on Tuesday. And then Wednesday's the West games. All right. Well, it sucks tonight. No Phillies baseball tonight. And the only thing is, well, it's my fiance's birthday. So we are going to go out in the Philly and have a nice dinner for the birthday. Tomorrow's our anniversary. So we do have a little how do you do coming up here to get me over the hump here until like the Sixers finally get back on the court. It just feels like it's been forever, man. It's been forever. So for the NHL schedule tonight, I'm trying to look around because there's no Philadelphia sporting events tonight. So what do we have? We have Bruins Capitals game 2. That series is bonkers. 7:30. We got the Predators and the Hurricanes at 8:00. The Blues Avalanche at 10:00. So we do have some good NHL action on tonight. But yeah, you're pretty limited in the sports world. Of course, you got some MLB games, and I'm going to be rocking a lot of these MLB games too when I get home from dinner. But yes, happy birthday, Mrs. Brodes. Correct. Yes. We're getting old. She'll be, yeah. Well, I'll make sure I was going to say, but that's not what you do. I caught myself. Quick catch. Yeah, I know there's playoff hockey tonight. I know there is. I hate to say this, But if a superstar comes on the trade block next year and Maxey keeps boosting his trade value, can you see us trading him? Well, Dominic, there's so much involved in what's happening here. I mean, you got to match salaries. I mean, he doesn't make that much. I mean, would he be part of the deal? Sure, but that's so far. Look, I'm ready to watch this team go on a playoff run. The last thing I'm thinking about is what happens next year when somebody's available and you got to make a move. Yeah, I mean, those are the type of guys you do move on from. There's a reason why he was in the trade talks this year. He's not untouchable. Bench pieces are not untouchable. You're winnable now. You're in that mode now, even though Tyrese Maxey is going to be amazing. But, yeah, I mean, that's too far out for me to start thinking about next year's trade deadline for me specifically. There's too much in line for what happens. Did they actually release, though, did they release what is going to happen Sixers playoff schedule? Like, with it to be determined? I don't think they did, right? Or did they? Did they actually release they released the play-in. Yeah, playoff series schedule to be determined for the Sixers. They don't actually have the playoff schedule all laid out yet with, like, to be determined. Okay. It sucks, but it doesn't suck. I have so many weddings this summer, and I'm in a couple weddings. So I'm just going to be a little nervous because I have a fear that the Sixers are going to go on this amazing run, and I'm going to have weddings to go to. And it's like, well, I mean, life is going to happen, right? But it's like, imagine the Sixers are in the Eastern Conference Finals Game 7, and I have a wedding on Saturday night. It's like, it's going to kill me. Now, that's my biggest fear. I got like 5 weddings this summer. So it's inevitable that something's going to land on one of those days. I'm going to seriously have like my AirPods in during the ceremony and like watching on my phone off to the side, just like maybe watching the game down low. I don't know what's going to happen. That's just my biggest fear. I don't know if it's really going to happen or not. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. That's all. Oh, I'm afraid. Sticky Chris says this play-in tournament's going to be amazing. Some think that. I don't really necessarily feel that way. I think it'll be okay. I'm not a big fan of the play-in tournament. Now we have all these other teams waiting it out and waiting to get on the court. My thing is, you're basically telling a team, all right, let's see who gets their ass kicked first in the first round. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that. Evan, say I'm sick. I don't think that's how it works. It's not school. It's a wedding. And if I'm in the wedding, it's a totally different story. And I'm in a couple of these weddings. So it's going to be crazy. But I don't know if it's actually going to land that way. I'm just saying that I'm just nervous. That's all. I'm nervous. But life happens. And we'll see what happens during that time. Some of these weddings, late June. We got some in July and whatnot. So we'll see what happens. Ethan says the UFC never fails the fans. Yeah, that was a great card, man. The first fight, reckless. And then, look, I thoroughly enjoyed the co-main. And I know that's probably an unpopular opinion because Tony Ferguson is a fan favorite and he just got annihilated for his 3rd straight loss. But I genuinely enjoyed watching the domination of Baruch on the ground. And it wasn't a sexy fight, but my man just straight up dominated him. And I think Tony Ferguson, unfortunately, is done. He had his ride, but there's no going back to where he was. I mean, he is a shell of himself. But I enjoyed the card and what you saw. Yeah, I used to kind of knock it, and I didn't love it, and I thought it was too gruesome and whatnot, but now I love it. I am obsessed with it. I'll be honest with you. Like, I am obsessed with these pay-per-view events more so than the fight night cards. I can't get into the non-fan fight night cards. I'm having trouble. But when you talk about these pay-per-view events, they're amazing, man. They are absolutely amazing. And oh God, the heel hook was great. I don't know how you could see Ferguson. Here's the thing: when you watch the heel hook happen, and then Ferguson got back up for that last round, and he tried to plant that foot, you could tell there was nothing, and I mean nothing, left in that foot for him to plant it all. And I think Baruch realized that, where when he was on the ground, I'm not saying he was like, I think he realized the situation. Just stay on top of him and go win this round. Just win the round and you're good to go. Don't do anything stupid. And from that, I know towards the end, maybe he was trying to get a tap out or a submission or whatnot, but Just domination. And I want to see him get back into the octagon. I do, Baruch, but he's saying how he wants to wait because, he's having a kid and all that. But I want to see him get right back out there because that division is kind of somewhat wide open. And can he kind of make some noise? He's on an impressive streak. In terms of that final fight, Oliveira with that knockout. I couldn't believe it. And I was pulling for Chandler. At first, I didn't love Chandler. I thought the hype was like, all right, I saw what he did. It was an impressive first fight and all, but man, I'll give him a ton of props for how he handled everything, especially afterwards after defeat. All right, so I do need to tell you about my friends with DealDash, okay? Coffee with Brodes is sponsored by DealDash. It's no surprise that I love winning. And I'll never forget when I went on a Nationals run and we were winning games left and right. And I may have retired from the ice a little bit of time ago, but I'm still winning now because of DealDash, the online shopping platform that is actually fun. DealDash is the longest running penny auction website and app around. Too good to be true? You bet it is. I've seen a car sold for $900. Seriously. A brand new TV for less than $2. Don't be a loser. Stop paying full retail price for the things that you want and get on DealDash. Go to DealDash.com or download the app. By the way, when you register, enter the promo code COFFEE. That's COFFEE for a special offer for some bonus free opportunity. So check that out. DealDash. Look, I'm getting so much here on in my office. I'm getting settled into my office here. I got TVs going. I'm on DealDash and I'm getting stuff for the office. It's amazing. Check it out. 500 yen coming. I love the name, man. Mullet petition for Alvarado. That is just absolutely incredible. Graduated college, 2000 prime AI years. So nostalgic 20 years later with this team. There is that vibe. Yeah, dude, I agree. They just have the it for sure. They have the it with the personality of this team. It's just about closing the door. I have concerns. So I was on the Fanatic this weekend, and Saturday show was popping with the Ben Simmons conversation, with the Sixers conversation. It was nonstop, and I had a blast. But I was trying to kind of discuss with everyone. I was trying to find the balance of being excited and appreciating the number one seed, but also being objective and realizing that there's some flaws. I'm worried about Ben, and I'm worried about Doc Rivers' rotation. And I think it's fair to be excited about this team and acknowledge that there's flaws, but also acknowledging that the Nets have flaws, the Bucks have flaws, the Miami Heat have flaws. Everyone has flaws. This whole double teaming of Joel, though, because it's like, all right, well, will Joel bring us to the promised land? I sure hope so. I really do. I sure hope so. What happens when the other team's mentality is anyone but Joel? Anyone but Joel can dominate us. We won't allow him to get post position because we'll triple team him. We'll double team it. I know the simple answer is, well, kick it out and Danny Green will be wide open. Yeah, but there's something about the way that Joel Embiid has been blitzed recently that's not allowing him to find that open man as easy as you think. And they're bringing the blitz from different areas. They're gonna rush him from the baseline. They're rushing from the charity stripe. They're rushing from the 3-point line, and they'll come around the top. So I mean, it's just so uncomfortable as of late, and we saw that against the Heat. I'm looking at objectively here at what I think could maybe be the downfall, and I'm curious how it's going to shape up. I don't trust the $2 TV. Shame on you. Shame on you. You go to DealDash and you check that out. You're going to be stunned. Stunned. It's not it's not like it's worth $2. It's not worth $2 is the point. What you're getting is worth significantly more. And it is that unbelievable. The fact that you're getting that great of a television for $2 is what you're missing out on here, TK. So go to DealDash, use promo code COFFEE, your jaw will drop. Am I concerned about the Phillies after yesterday's mess? I've been concerned about the Phillies before yesterday's mess. It wasn't yesterday's mess that made me feel the way that I do. There's a lot more to it than just that. I mean, it's sloppy. And if you ask the question, are we getting the same old? Then yeah, I think we're getting the same old. Are we getting the same old Phillies? Honestly, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, I think there is a reality to it. think there's a reality to that specifically. It sucks. It sucks that I feel that way, but I feel that way. Wizards versus Nets, the Westbrook revenge. I I got nothing for you, man. If a team like the Wizards win this tournament, they get their asses handed to them. I mean, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Segura should have been benched. We'll see. I mean, you didn't have any options. Did you see the bench? You forced Bryce Harper to play that game yesterday. You want to talk about someone being benched? You had no opportunity for anyone to be benched. Who's getting benched? How are you getting benched? What world are you getting benched? You can't get benched. There's no one who can play. You have no one to even go out on the field. You can't bench anyone. Now, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens for this most recent lineup, but you don't have guys available. You have so many guys extremely banged up. You don't have the possibility of benching. Look, I would accept, even though he's your best hitter right now, like your most hottest hitter and whatnot, I could understand benching him. I could see a scenario where benching him is logical. I'm not anti-benching a player for going at it with your manager, for not going to the mound when you remove Chase Anderson from the game and you're hanging out over at shortstop or second base and you're just being a jag-off, right? Like, okay. But you don't have the flexibility roster-wise to do that. So he's got to play. Nick Maton has to play. You can't, unless you're just saying, what about Nick Maton? Oh, what a day Nick Maton had. Yeah, no, he had a good day. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And he's going to find time. Someone on the Anytime hotline asked me, how do we find time for him? Well, the answer is simple. Didi Gregorius is banged up, and there's not good news. They don't know what's going on. There's inflammation that continues to occur. It's a problem. It's a problem. The Didi Gregorius issue constantly keeps popping up. I just don't even think he's going to be playing for a while. So there's where Nick Maton's going to play. He's going to play right there at shortstop. Brodes, this Phillies team stinks. Yeah, they're your average. I mean, they're your average in terms of their record. I mean, they're 21-20. We've been seeing average baseball being played for years and years and years. So they're average baseball, but the way they get average is insane. The way they get average is so unorthodox and so ridiculous. The emotional losses and the way they lose and the way that everything's played out, it's just ridiculous. It's crazy. It really is. I think we are being too hard on. I don't think we're being too hard on Bohm. I think that we hold him to a high standard because we know he's good, and in no way, shape, or form is 224 acceptable out of Alec Bohm. So I don't think we're being too hard on Alec Bohm at all. I think we're objectively looking at him. We know he can provide more. And to be fair, I think a lot of us are kind of reasonable with what he's doing. We know the numbers are down statistically, but we also see how well he's barreling up the ball. We see how smoothly he's swinging the bat. So honestly, I don't think anyone's like ripping Alec Bohm into shreds. At one point, he's hitting 224 now. He was as low as when I remember last seeing him, 214, really close to 200. When Alec Bohm is hitting 200, yeah, you're allowed to criticize because he's better than that. But we also acknowledge that it's not like he's putting together the ugliest at-bats we've ever seen. That's left for Scott Kingery to do. If you want to see the ugliest I've ever seen in my life, watch Scott Kingery's at-bats. It's throw-up worthy. Don't eat before Scott Kingery's up to the dish. Don't be eating when Scott Kingery's up to the dish because it's going to come right back up and onto the floor. And you don't want your dog to eat it. It's trash, Scott Kingery. But, I mean, Alec Bohm has had tough spots. Alec Bohm has had some frustrating at-bats. You could see it with himself that he's annoyed and he's mother effing underneath of his breath. And even out loud, there was a hot mic that caught him in one of the games where he straight up screamed the F-bomb. So I don't think we're outrageous with our assessment on Alec Bohm to this point. Bartolo Colon is better than Scott Kingery. There's a chance. There's a chance. Kingery's so bad, it's funny. Yeah, it has gotten to the point where it's so laughable. You're right. It's a painful laugh, though. It's not a real laugh because it's that fun. This is so upsetting. I want to cry, you know? At least you're not a Mets fan. Our whole team is injured. The Phillies' whole team is injured. Last night or yesterday afternoon, just had to play an injured Bryce Harper because everyone was injured. They had one bench piece that was available, and he had to be utilized so early in the it was bad. It was bad. The whole entire Phillies team is banged up right now. Bryce Harper, JT, Didi Gregorius, Andrew Knapp. Who else am I missing? It's bad. It's like what I'm doing with my life right now, just laughing. Well, come on. We shouldn't be doing that. Sticky Chris says, I've been watching Scott Kingery highlights from 2018, 2019. One-handed swing was amazing. Awful what he has become. And that's a shame on him. I don't like the narrative of this is all on the organization. There's a lot more to that. Yeah, Archie Bradley's another name for sure. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the last thing I'm doing is going back to watch some Scott Kingery highlights. I can't stand looking at him right now. He's a hate to face. Conforto, McNeil, Nimmo, Davis, DeGrom. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of teams, though. If you look at what happened to the Atlanta Braves early in the season, they had 3 of their 5 starting pitchers on the IL. And then Acuna had the hand thing, and he was a little banged up. I think Ozzie Albies was on there at one point as well. I mean, a lot of teams go through that. And the Phillies right now with their top players are going through that disaster as we speak as well. So a lot of teams are going through those for sure. Your chances on the Heat taking the Bucks, Brodes. How many games? I mean, I could see that one going a little bit longer. I could see the Bucks in 6. I could see it going to 7, honestly. But I do think that the Bucks are the stronger team at the end of the day. That's the most intriguing series, excuse me, of them all for me, specifically of all the first round matchups. That's the one that I'm looking forward to the most. But yeah, I think I could see Bucks in 6, Bucks in 7. I could see it going a little bit longer for sure. Tyrese Maxey is going to be a legit problem in a few years. You're not wrong. Maxey is serious. Christopher also asked, do I think Maxey will get some playing time in the playoffs? Early rounds, possibly early rounds. When you talk about the real legit crunch of things, no. If you're talking about extended minutes for blowout purposes, because they're going to destroy and annihilate a Charlotte Hornets team or whatnot, maybe. I don't know. One of my biggest questions, though, is what is Doc Rivers going to do? How is Doc Rivers going to implement this game plan for his team? What is the bench rotation going to look like? He claims 11 deep. Well, that's asinine. So what are you actually going to do, Doc? Because if you're going to go 11 deep, we're in trouble. Now, like I said, when I talk about that, 11 deep against the Charlotte Hornets, I mean, the Charlotte Hornets suck. They're a bad basketball team. So whoop-de-doo. I mean, I'm talking more about the seriousness of playoff basketball. No, when we're talking serious playoff basketball, no, I don't imagine seeing that. I'm just glad the NBA season's finally over, the regular season. Yeah, I agree. The problem is now we have to wait more. Now we got to wait longer. Hello. Can we please figure this thing out? Please. Yeah, no Mike Scott. That's one. No Mike Scott. I'm with you. Although what? I love it. In the beginning of the game, right? No, I don't actually love it. What the hell was that? What in the world was that noise? I've never heard that noise coming from my computer in my life. A notification for a canceled company meeting at 10 a.m. What company meeting? Why? No Paul Reed either. There's no Paul Reed either. None of them. None of those guys. Not one. No, I don't have a Brodes Media meeting. I would know if I did or not. The boss at Brodes Media is a real dick. I would know if I had a meeting. Is Nola still the ace of the pitching lineup? I hate the word ace. I really do. Because technically, if you want to go by the letter of the law, an ace just means the first guy on your staff. Is Aaron Nola the first guy on the staff? I mean, yeah, I still think he's the first guy on the staff. All right, I do. For whatever that's worth. I don't think, quite frankly, like when you use the word ace, I think of Jacob deGrom. I think of Garrett Cole. I think of Shane Bieber. I think of guys like Walker Bueller and Clayton Kershaw. I think of pitchers like that, right? Like that's what I think of. I don't feel that way about Zach Wheeler, and I don't feel that way about Aaron. I don't think about that way about either of them. Quite frankly, I think both of them are number twos. I don't think we have a true ace. I don't think we have a true ace. Unfortunately, that's just my personal opinion. And Walker Bueller's kind of in that like he's getting there. I don't know if he's like that fine line for sure. But Garrett Cole, Jacob deGrom, Clayton Kershaw, Madison Bumgarner a few years ago when he was on the San Francisco Giants saying, "Give me the fucking baseball." I don't see that in Nola. I don't see that in Wheeler. So I'll tell you what, though, if this is the question that you're kind of alluding to, or I guess maybe this will answer the question. If you're telling me you have a one-game wild card, I'd rather go to Zach Wheeler right now than Aaron Nola. So if that answers your question, that answers your question. But I don't think that Zach Wheeler even speaks ace. Like that's not ace to me. None of these guys are aces to me. Ace is Garrett Cole. Ace is Jacob deGrom. That's an ace. Those Shane Bieber. That's an ace. Those are aces. Aaron Nola, Zach, that's not an ace. But by the letter of the law, it is. Because an ace is the number one guy on the staff. But that's not how I interpret it. I interpret it as Game 7, give me the fucking baseball. I'm going to deliver. I don't know if you necessarily have that in this Phillies organ. And that's fine. I mean, look, that doesn't mean, because here's how I'll say, like, I want to defend these guys too. They're still amazing. They're still tremendous. If Aaron Nola, let's say your staff is what it is right now, and Aaron Nola is available in free agency, right? So you can pretty much get a second Aaron Nola on your team. I want that. If Aaron Nola is available in free agency and you can add an Aaron Nola to your staff, I want that. And I want that badly. So that shows you what I feel about Aaron. He's still tremendous. He's still imagine acquiring a pitcher like Aaron Nola in free agency. That would be unreal. That's a great add to your rotation. So there's still tremendous value in Nola and Wheeler, even if I don't see them as Garrett Cole and DeGrom. Like, they're limited. Those players don't grow on trees, but there's a huge difference. Huge difference. Would I be interested in Stroman in free agency? I'm not going to say no to any sort of addition to the starting rotation. All right, I'm not. So anything. I don't know. What's his He's on the one. What is his contract situation? Did he re-sign there for 1 year this past year? Because when he got traded, I don't like the way that this website has it. When he got traded to New York from Toronto, how many years were left on that deal? Was that an expiring contract? And then he re-signed a 1-year deal? I don't remember. I don't remember what exactly happened with Stroman when he got traded. I don't. What? No, because why? No, it wasn't expiring because they weren't even in position to do anything, right? They weren't in. It wasn't like so. There's no way that it could have been an expiring deal because they weren't even in play to do anything that year. Why would they just randomly make that trade? I don't know. Yeah, I he accepted the Mets qualifying offer. Okay. And then okay. All right. I forget. I'll be honest. I don't remember exactly what happened with Marcus Stroman last year. But anyway, yeah, to answer the original question, it is, yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in adding any sort of starting rotation depth, to be honest with you. I mean, at what point would I be saying no when we're watching guys pitch like Chase Anderson? So I'll take it. Who do I see taking the belt from Oliveira? Man, when you look at that division, let's go to that division. And I just think that division is so damn wide open right now. There's a lot in play for It's like so interesting. So you got Poirier, you got Gaethje. Uh, Here's the question. If Conor McGregor ends up winning, does he really deserve a shot at the title? Because I don't know if he necessarily deserves the shot at the title, but he might get it because of his name and how much that would sell. But I mean, I don't think that he deserves that chance. I think he's a couple, like my personal, I think he's a couple fights away from getting that chance at the belt again. I know. Yeah, I agree. He does not. He does not deserve to get it, but he'll get it. And that bothers me. I'll be honest with you. I'm enjoying McGregor getting beat up. I was never a McGregor guy during his prime, but I'll also admit that I wasn't as into UFC during his prime as I am now. So, there's an element of I just thought he was a cocky douchebag and I didn't love his antics and whatnot. But I don't think he deserves a shot at the belt. I think Poirier's got to win. And if Poirier beats McGregor, which would be amazing, then that would be your belt. That would be your contention for the belt, and that would be amazing. That's kind of what we're looking at. Mullet petition for Alvarado. I crack up every time I can't even say it the right way. Personal best bars to watch games in Jersey Shore towns. Kind of stuck overseas with COVID this summer. Looking forward to 2022. I'll be honest. In terms of watching games in Jersey, I'm probably not the best guy to ask. So I feel bad, but I really don't know the best to because I'll be honest. I'm not a big watch the game at the bar guy. I like to be at home. I like my own environment. I like to hear what's happening on the TV. I'm not big with going out. Now, Phillies games different. There's games where, game 55 of 162, you're going to the bar, you're having a couple beers, whatever, you're relaxing. Like, that's fine. I'm not saying that. But like Eagles games, I need to be in my own home. I need to be I could be at my buddy's place and watch a game with like 3 people, 4 people. I can't be in a big environment. I got to be like watching the game. So I'm not a big watch sports at the bar guy. If you're telling me the Sixers are in the playoffs and you're in a screaming bar of 5,000 people and everyone's going nuts and you can't hear the TV, like, no, I need to be on my couch and I got to be like analyzing it. I'm not that guy. And the environment for me is not big for that. So I'm sorry to give you that answer. I feel like I'm letting you down. The 500 yen donation, and here I am telling you I don't know, but I don't know. I don't want to lie. I don't want to just start throwing bars at you in the Jersey Shore town and say that's the way to go, but yeah, I'm sorry. Evan says, what's my go-to beer? So if we're talking shit beer, like piss water beer, which is the Coors, the Millers, the Buds, Miller any day of the week out of the piss beers. If we're talking, I'm not going to go like insane, like wild IPA and all that, because there's so many and I love all the different versions and whatnot. Because I honestly go up to a bar and be like, yeah, give me this, give me that. I don't even know what they are, but we'll try them. But if we're just going like a nicer beer, a Yards Pale Ale, nice and simple. Yards Pale Ale, amazing. Just simple. I love hoppy beers. I love hoppy IPAs. I love double IPAs. I love all those, but just a good solid beer that's not getting too intense, a Yards Pale Ale. So piss water, Miller, a good beer, Miller, Yards Pale Ale. And if we're, any IPA from there, I like Cape May Brewery. I think they do a good job for sure. The bad news is that was the last Sixers home game with 5,000 fans. The good news is the Sixers will now have 10,000 fans once the playoffs start, which is huge. Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be a game changer. It's going to be a game changer for sure to watch this team compete in the playoffs. You know what I always wanted to do? I just realized that when I was like fixing myself, if you will. How's the feet up look? I always wanted to go feet up with coffee, bro. I'm done with my coffee, unfortunately. This is a bad angle. I always wanted to kind of like kick back, Can't kick back. I want to get like relaxed, like chill. Sometimes it hurts my back. But what does that mean to you guys? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. You got to find a way. Like maybe I can get like a hammock somehow hanging up in my office So like maybe some pine trees. So like doing coffee with Brodes, like it's a 12 by 12 room here. Right? It's not like we're playing with something where it's like obnoxiously large. So I just have all this room for different sections of my office. But like maybe we can do something where like I can hang in a hammock off to the side here. So coffee with Brodes is like maybe play some Bob Marley. Maybe you know what I'm saying? I need more coffee. My brain's starting to become mush already. I need more coffee. Will the Birds win the NFC East? No. No. I do not think the Birds will win the NFC East. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. What's up, Brodes? What do you think the Maxi's minutes will be in the playoffs? When we're talking about significant playoff time, nothing. Nothing. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what's going to happen in a first-round series against the Hornets where they're going to absolutely obliterate a team. So I don't know what those minutes are going to look like. I don't know how they're going to be distributed, and that's my big question mark heading into the playoffs is what is Doc going to do with this team with the bench? So I don't know. I don't have the answer. When we talk about serious crunch time, though, or like I'm not talking so much fourth quarter specifically. When we talk about a serious playoff series. You don't have a serious playoff series until the Eastern Conference Finals, which is nice because you set yourself up for that. But when we talk about like Eastern Conference Finals, my guess is 0. It better be 0 because you ain't ready yet. Playing the Orlando Magic in the last game of the regular season is not playing a team in the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay, it's not the same. So he's going to be a good player. He's going to be a stud. Love him. I think he's a fantastic, fantastic athlete who just has smarts. He's just a smart basketball player who's very intelligent. Very intelligent. But he ain't ready yet. If Embiid brings a chip to Philly, who would be known as the hero of Philly, Foles or Embiid? Well, they both will be. That's like saying when the Patriots win a championship and the Boston Red Sox win a championship, there's only Tom Brady. No, everybody remembers that run that the Boston Celtics had to beat the Dodgers. Everyone remembers that amazing journey, and they have their stuff. I mean, it's both. It's not one or the other. Joel Embiid and Nick Foles will be remembered the same exact way. It's not one. I mean, that's the beauty of winning a championship. There's multiple layers to it. All right, everyone, I want to thank you all so much for listening to Coffee with Brodes today, which is presented by DealDash. Make sure you head on over to DealDash.com, download the app, and use promo code COFFEE when you sign up for phenomenal odds, for phenomenal promotions for sure. So, all right, there's big news that is going to be announced very, very, very shortly here on Brodes Media. This is a big day. We're launching a lot with Brodes Media. I'm super excited. So when Coffee with Brodes is over, make sure you are ready because we are going to be firing off some news here on YouTube, on Twitter, at Brodes Media as well. There will be a lot of information. So be ready. I'm excited. Thank you all so much. You are the best. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'll be talking to you guys.